What's up, Nana Nation and lovers of the Toronto Maple Leafs? I'm Anthony El Jefe, recording live and direct with my homeboy Ball Walker on the other side of the city. We're here to talk Leafs. This is Leafs Edition. Ball, what's up, baby?
Can I just ask first, are you sure we're recording this time, man?
I got
Is
a
it
whole
on?
triple check. We are. The red light is on. We're recording. We are one take doing this, baby.
Okay, then I am fired up to do this. I am excited that we are recording. Woo, let's talk some Leafs, buddy.
Let's go!
Woo!
Okay, so I gotta start with this story. So
Okay.
after we recorded the second time of the last one, my wife's like, my wife was talking to one of her friends over Skype, or one of her coworkers, and she goes, "So I found out your husband has a podcast. What do they talk about?" And she's like, "I don't know. I just heard him yell 'Let's go' like 6 times. I don't know. I don't know what they're talking about. Like, it doesn't make any sense." So I'm glad that thank you for listening, and let's go, baby. Go
Let's
Leafs,
go.
go.
A positive Leafs edition. Let's go.
Yeah. So before we start, last night I did a double shot of vodka in my White Claw.
Very
Turns
impressive.
out it tastes like garbage. So it wasn't the White Claw's fault either. It's because vodka's for bitches. We're going SoCo, some Southern Comfort. We're gonna do little bombs away to start the pod, and then I got a White Claw to keep me going because I'm still doing that keto life, baby. Here we go. Commentary, please.
Oh, he's pouring that shot so sexy right now. The liquid right at the top. That's going to go right down his throat. Let's see it. Oh, that's hot. Oh, yeah.
Let's go, baby.
First, can I
Ball
say,
Walker.
that's a great hoodie, dude. Where did you get that? Loyal to Toronto. I love it.
Yeah, man. So I'll send you the link. I tried to get something going with the pod. I'll send you a link. This is Loyal to Toronto. I wear this every time I go on vacation, which, I mean, right now is not really often. But when I did get it, I wore it in San Diego, rocked it. Very proud. Loyal to Hockey on Instagram, all one word, Loyal to Hockey. And they just came out with a new one, and it's in cursive, and it says "Be Leaf," and it has the Leaf logo. It's super sexy.
I'll definitely be checking that out then.
Yeah, if you put an order in, let me know. We'll save on shipping. Let's do this. Okay,
Hey.
We got a lot to. So we're doing a monthly recap about the Leafs. Now, granted, they're only 10 games into the season, but if you really want to break it down, when you have a 7-2-1 record, and the only reason that one's there is because McDavid is superhuman and is holding that team together.
Yeah.
It's a good time to be loyal to the city, baby. Put the 6 up. Let's go.
Yeah, great. I love that record. I guess because it's a shortened season, I was thinking before the pod, there's that time, kind of around American Thanksgiving where you you see the field, how it's going to play out, who's shit. Obviously, it's not going to be that many games. I'm thinking, 15, 20 games you're going to start to see people in the shortened season. 7-2-1, I am very excited. And the fact that you just brought up his name, McDavid, we lost last night. It was a good game. I'm happy with the boys.
You know what? Incredible game. And like I said, like the only lost last night's game, or I shouldn't put a timestamp, but the only reason they lost against the Oilers in the second game was because McDavid really took the game to his own. That fucking end-to-end or almost end-to-end where he just accelerates at such a speed and still has control over everything and scored. Obviously, I mean, amazing goal. And that overtime winner, okay, fine, whatever. Say what you want. Like, I call it a little bit of a soft goal, not like the greatest goal. Hard to do, though. How many times do you see that saucer pass and the connection and it goes into the back of the net? It's not as frequently as you think. There's probably 1 in 5 times that it works, and McDavid made it work. So I'm not sad about the loss. I'm glad we got 1 point out of that game because at one point they're down 3-1. So that's my D.
Oh, okay. I want to go back to what you just said, but 2 things. Yeah. First off, McDavid, Draisaitl, what a drop off to the rest of the Edmonton Oilers if those 2 guys are not doing anything.
Totally.
McDavid's on another level. Edmonton is pretty much shit otherwise without those 2. And I'm not mad at him because I still think it's a good game. I'm not hating on the coach, but for once I will agree with the media pundits. I do think Marner and Matthews should have been out to start overtime. There was that 2v2 battle all night.
Yeah.
And they wanted to be out there. It maybe wouldn't have changed the outcome, but not a big complaint, but I would have liked to see them out there.
And we'll get to him too, but just to kind of bookend that game, Toronto had a beautiful chance with Nylander in front. You know, maybe that goes in on another goaltender, and I don't think. Shit, I can't remember his name right now. Edmonton's goaltender. I don't like. Thank you, Costin. I didn't think Costin was having a tremendous game. Anyways, I thought that he was just. And I mean, it is what it is. That Hyman goal wasn't great. A great goal to have scored on you, but you know, shit happens too. You know, we get bad bounces too sometimes. So.
I think that's more a pro to Hyman's hand-eye coordination. That goal, how he spun around. I give credit to him much.
Yeah.
Instead of like the goalie getting shit on. He's an average goalie. Like he's actually playing well for this Edmonton team because besides Draisaitl, McDavid, they're shit. Anyways, back to the Leafs.
Yes.
Nylander is not producing goals, but I actually think his game has looked good. His speed. He still has those moments where I want him to get a bit tougher, a bit more grit in the like corners or more heart. He gives up a bit, leans back.
All right.
Still, I've liked what I saw from him.
I have to agree. I think let's hold off on this conversation because we do have it kind of slated a little bit later. You know, we talked about how we thought the North was kind of shaken down, and like granted, 10 games into the season, some teams haven't even played 10 games yet. But as the North stands right now, Toronto in first place. We both fucking called it 3 weeks ago. As it stands right now, first in the league, first in the conference. Leafs, Canadians, Canucks, Jets, Oilers, Flames, Sens. I mean, we knew that the top and bottom were going to look like that. How do you think the rest of this North Division is shaking down?
Okay, well, right now I was completely wrong about Calgary. I still think they're a strong team if they can get their shit together, but fuck Matthew Tkachuk. Yes, I would love him if he was on the Leafs, just like Darcy Tucker. He's not. That's why I hate him. Fuck off with that.
That's right.
Honestly, I think the Canucks are pretenders.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think they're a good team. I think they have some amazing, great young players. I don't think they're there yet.
Right.
Montreal, my Toronto bias, I had them really low. They're better than I thought. I still don't think they're that great. I think could be that typical Montreal moment a month, 2 months in where Price has a set of bad games. They lose 6 games in a row. The whole Montreal city, Quebec province goes nuts. It happens every year with that team. So I'm waiting for that. Jets are Jet. I can't wait to see Dubois. Like that Patrick Laine trade. That's gonna be a tough one to play against. But yeah, so I think the Flames can still pick it up. The Sens are exactly where I thought they'd be. They are shit.
Right.
They are shit.
For me, I had the Canadians high. I thought the Canadians are probably going to finish the season in third place, just outside of a playoff spot. You know, the Canucks are probably a little bit better right now than I thought they were. But what I really believe is I believe the Canucks are where the Leafs were 2 or 3 seasons ago, where you're starting to see the cohesiveness, but they're not. They still are a couple pieces away. I think they've got something really good building. I don't think they're there yet. So those guys have learned how to have a little bit of success, but they haven't really had they haven't learned how to win consistently. Mind you, like listen, the Leafs, they may be there now, but they haven't been there either. So, but I'm just saying that the Canucks are probably just 2 years behind where they're going to be real world beaters. For me, the Jets in fourth is kind of where I put the Jets. I always thought they're going to be a middle of the pack team. Oilers in fifth. You know, they're going to have to make a trade. And who they're going to have to trade, I don't know. But they're going to make a trade at some point to get real goaltending because they don't have it. They've got like this dude Skinner who's going to play tonight, who is like the first goaltender. This crazy stat: the first Oilers goaltender that they drafted and kind of developed, who's starting a game for them, since Devin Dubnyk 10 years ago.
Wow,
that is a horrible prospect. Like, I mean, fine, goalies. You may not be drafting goalies every year, but definitely you should be having more success than once every 10 years.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, they're goalies. But what are they going to get? Flower? Like, what is the goaltending option out there right now?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know yet. Maybe, you know, next time we do a Hockey Town, Aaron Chalupa could shed some light on that. I don't know what the option is, but realistically, if you want an A1 starter or at least a solid B to kind of push Koskinen, then maybe you go after Fleury. But I don't even think Fleury's a great option because if you look at the Golden Knights, they're in second. I mean, they're in a good spot. So why would they get rid of their backup? A proven backup. It doesn't make any sense to me.
No, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. I don't know the goaltender. And also, I want to ask, I should have looked this up. I forget. Is Mike Smith out for the year, like the season, or what's his injury?
No, he's just injured, but he's 38 and a goaltender. I can't, like, as a 38-year-old who's not a goaltender, I can't even imagine that. So, at the end of the day.
Yeah, all the teams out west Canada improved their goaltending pretty much, except for Edmonton, the one team who truly needed it to go to the next level. And I don't know if they're going to wait to see what the Islanders situation with their rookie goaltender and Varlamov is going to work out. I mean, what are you going to do? Try and take that Bobrovsky contract off?
They don't have room for that. They can't do. They won't have room.
Exactly.
The downside is they don't have room to pay a goaltender. So what do? Do you struggle for 2 years until the cap's a little bit better, and then McDavid's now like 5 years into his contract, and then you might have him for another 3 years? Who knows? I mean, I honestly think McDavid's out of there at the end of this contract. I mean, unless that team does something super special for him, bring some more supporting cast, I can't see that McDavid's sticking around. So I don't know.
No, there's no way. You can only waste so many years of a generation talents like span. Like there's no way he's going to stay with Edmonton. They might do him a service in a couple of years and try to trade him as like Gretzky, get him better pasture. They also help the team out for the future. But yeah, when they lose or they look like shit, you can see it on his face how miserable it is sometimes.
Totally.
Obviously, not saying he doesn't enjoy his time in Edmonton. I'm sure he loves being an Oiler. He loves the organization. We're not saying that, but there's a certain moment where you got to be like, it's not working out here. Like, I got to dip. Tavares came home.
Yeah.
And also what you said about the Canucks, doesn't it seem like the Canucks are the Leafs if they hadn't got Matthews?
You know what? I see a lot of parallels.
Yeah.
The big thing that I see in Vancouver is I think they started back end to front, or I mean blue line, and then in the goaltending situation, all that stuff, back end to front, where the Leafs went front end to back. Even though they've had Anderson for like 5 years now, that's not what I mean. I mean, there's like they were top heavy before they were bottom heavy, or there seemed to be Canucks seem bottom heavy more than top heavy.
Yeah, I see that.
All right, let's get. I mean, like, you know what, the conference is what it is, or the division is what it is. I love it. Every game seems important.
Every game.
I haven't had the luxury of sitting down and watching games. If it wasn't for lockdown, I definitely wouldn't be watching these many games. But I'm proud to say 10 games into the season, I've watched every single game start to finish. I'm very proud of that.
Leaf game or the whole North Division?
No, all Leaf games.
Oh yeah, I've caught every Leaf game. There's no This is COVID. What else are you gonna do?
It is literally the highlight of my day.
Yeah.
Highlight of my day.
No kidding. And like you said, every game matters. I got like not butterflies, but I'm fired up before every game. I've been pretty, like, obviously I'm a massive Leaf fan. I do a pod with you, but it's been pretty monotone because we're just so used to the Leafs being the Leafs. Yeah. I do not feel that same way at the end of games with this Leaf team. And I know we're going to get into that, but
yeah, let's do it. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right. Let's start with Buds versus Duds. This is who's hot, who's not. Who you liking 10 games into the season? Give me 2 or 3 names both ways, and then we'll go back and forth.
Okay, I'll start off with a new guy to the team, and I'm going to say Wayne Simmons. He is not the same Wayne Simmons as before, but he looks fast. He's contributed 3 goals, the hits, that fight that won us the game. I mean, what we asked of him, he has delivered. So for my first name for a Bud is Wayne Simmons. I am so happy to see that man on the ice in blue and white.
Awesome. I do like, he didn't make my list, although he was like an honorable mention. I think that's a great start. When we go into Buds versus Duds, first and foremost, you're seeing AM 3-4 at his peak, baby. I think Austin Matthews came determined this season. He looks like he's on a mission. He's a mission sent from the hockey gods. He looks possessed this season. Looks like his size is good. I mean, this is a motherfucker who had COVID. He's back at it, looking strong, looking like he really wants to control the pace of a game. First and foremost, number 1 Bud for me, 3-4 in the lights, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, I left that one for you. It's unreal dropping that 15 pounds. Like that guy's hockey IQ, the plays, it looks like his body's making plays before his mind registers what he's doing sometimes. How he's just like, I don't know, loosey-goosey and gets out of these situations and then just snipes. The guy is so smart. I am going to do another bud, and I'm doing number 16, Mr. Mitchie Marner. You want to win back the fan base. You want to show everybody that contract's worth it. You keep playing like this. I keep seeing that flow just going up and down the ice. The silky passes we're used to from Marner. This guy's lighting it up with JT. That flow line is buzzing.
I like it. For Double M, he was borderline for me duds, and the reason why is because. Yeah, he's been racking up A's. I get that. He's getting the assist. He's got a goal, game winner. I get it, but it didn't feel like he was contributing in a way like a Matthews or even a Simmons was. It just didn't feel like it was clicking. But I definitely last couple of games I've seen an improvement with him. So he's not dud nor bud for me, but he's I get it. He's totally reason why he's there. I get it. My next bud, I'm going to go, and I didn't think I would say this point of the season, Big Willie style, baby.
Wow.
The borderline transgender player, wearing Eric Lindros's number 88, Willie Nylander. I've really liked his game this season. So far this season, 10 games in, he's won me over. His puck possession, his flow through at the ice. I really like those attributes. I think he's doing something that we've wanted for him for a little while, which is playing with the confidence that he can do the things he kind of is envisioning. And I really think I like the goal scoring touch. I know that we wanted him just to be a saucer guy to just set up Matthews. And the fact that he's taking this goal scorer persona, touch, whatever you want to say, I really feel like he's taking his game to the next level. 88, bud for me.
Yeah, I'm loving the second gear from Willie, and he's definitely deserving a top 2 spot on this team. I'm going to keep the positive train going and go another bud. The Prince who was promised, the top 4 defensemen just waiting in the wings, Justin Hall. The guy couldn't crack the lineup with Babcock. He's now stopping McDavid. That metal, greasy flow through the helmet, it makes me sick. I love it. This guy's been a gem.
I'm glad you said that because that was my third bud.
Yeah.
Was with Jay Hall for sure. I didn't see it. When he was under Babcock, he played one game, had one goal. I was like, okay, there's something there. Babs didn't feel it, whatever. Sheldon Keefe obviously believes there's something there, and he's given him the confidence. He's playing like he's 280 pounds.
Yeah.
He's playing like a big body. I love it. The Leafs haven't had that big body defender in a long time. So it's nice to see it. I do feel like for him, it's a make or break season, but I do feel there are some times where he didn't do it for me. And, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a learning curve for him. I think, he's like 27, I think this season. 28?
Yeah, 27, yeah.
Yeah. So he really needs to figure this out. But if he gives us what he's given us in the first 10 games, the next 45 games or whatever it's going to be, I'm on board. I'll take that just how I think putting them guys, not necessarily a guy like Riley, but with Brody there,
Bogosian,
thank you. With guys like that kind of pushing him, I think he'll really groom himself. And Lettinen was right there too. I really like Lettinen's game, but I want to see more before I put him on this chart.
Yeah, I agree. Okay.
So let's talk about some duds.
Okay, my first dud, and it's a semi-dud because he hasn't done anything like really terrible. It's Tyson Brody. No, I'm sorry, TJ Brody. I'm getting him mixed up with Tyson Barrie from last year because it's pretty much the same production and the same type of player right now that I've seen with Riley. 4 assists, it's good. It's early games, nothing too bad. He's not coughing up the puck, but there's nothing. He's not that top 2D that a Stanley Cup winning Leaf team needs, I think, right now, unless maybe he's going to show it.
I have to disagree with you. I don't think he was necessarily a bud. I don't think he's a dud either. I think big contract, new team. I think there's some elements there. I've enjoyed his game. I thought the first series against Edmonton, he did a really good job shutting down McDavid. He didn't have as much success this time around. And an ultra human like McDavid is probably going to figure that kind of stuff out. And you saw whenever McDavid drove against Brody, you saw McDavid have the extra step there. So I think it's okay. I don't feel the same way. Dud number one for me, unfortunately, I have to say, is Peter Engvall. And yeah, I just don't see it this year. And what I mean, the way I'm going to justify that is Engvall last year had these incredible bursts of speed that you would see and you'd be like, okay, that's why he's there. He has this speed. He's got this long, lanky body. Lanky's not really a word. Lanky body. So I was like, okay, it makes sense to have a guy like this because he's got speed. He's got a little bit of a mitt. So let's do this. But this, it feels invisible. So my number one dud. And granted, we're trying to find something bad on right now a very good team.
Exactly.
But that's what I'm seeing with him so far. Bah, who's your next dud?
So my next dud, and just like you said, we're trying to nitpick here. So this is not typical Leafs duds. But I'm going to go with Barabanov because I've actually liked the small sample from Boyd on that line more than Barabanov. And I feel like Barabanov right now would probably be sent down to the Marlies, but he'd probably opt out of that with the KHL clause. So I really want to see more from him. Obviously, he's a guy that we signed from the KHL. We're not expecting much. He's in a fourth line role. I'm not expecting much, but he's been invisible. He's just a body out there. He's one of those guys in 5 years you're going to be like, who the hell was that guy was on our Oh, right.
Right. He might end up getting traded for like a seventh or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
My dud number two, it actually hurts me to say it. I don't want to say it, but for the integrity of this podcast, I'm going to say it. Mr. Anderson.
I knew you were going to say that.
Freddie looks ice cold. Mm-hmm. Freddie does not look good.
No.
He's playing okay. For like the last game against Edmonton, he played really well. I thought he played well, but he's looking fucking soft, dude. He looks like he looks like a okay goalie on a really good team, which he's not supposed to be that guy. He's supposed to be better than okay. We need him to be better than okay. Fine, we get it. McDavid is awesome, but come on, like there's some goals that are being scored that I'm not happy with, especially that fucking Ottawa game. That Ottawa game, it looked like he had food poisoning and corona at the same time. Like something was wrong with him.
It's really soft. He's what, close to 30 now, or he's over 30? Like, there's no more excuses that he gets off to a bad start every season. Fucking figure it out, okay? You're a pro. That's not acceptable. And we both know he wants to go for more money, bigger contract, which is right, but he's not winning us games. He may be keeping us a bit in games and giving us one or two saves, but he hasn't won us a game. And I don't care about the excuse that he might heat up, because you know what else happens? He also cools down at the end of the season when it comes playoff time. So if the same pattern's repeating now at the start of the season, probably going to repeat the same thing at the end, which is so frustrating.
And I don't know if it's because of a contract year, because maybe Toronto hasn't made more of an effort to be like, hey, we want you here. Like I don't know attitude wise or what kind of temperature that is, but it kind of blows me away. And you're right, like he has slow starts. We know that. But motherfucker, this is a 56 game season.
Yes. What time do we have?
Yeah. And okay, fine. Campbell's out, right? Like, let's not beat around the bush. Campbell's out. It is what it is. Let's say a month. Hutchinson might get one start, maybe two starts in that. It is what it is. But like, come on, like let's see what you got. Let's go, because this may be the best team you've ever played on to get yourself a ring.
Yeah.
Who knows? He might sign with Tampa next year and win a cup. Who knows? I don't know. But I mean, he's not gonna sign with Tampa. We know that. But you got to make this work. No ifs and or buts about it.
You are not going to find a better situation as a goalie than the Toronto Maple Leafs right now. COVID just happened. Half the league can't even afford to not have fans in the state and might not even have a team. So what, you're going to go for a team that can't afford you and you want more money? Great. What team out there is going to give you not only the money, the championship caliber team that we are building, and also the chance to be the starting goaltender at your age on that team? Like, if he's smart, he's re-signing with us. And at this point, I don't know if I want him to.
It's so hard, right? Like, there's so many elements. Who knows? At the end of the day, dud. Number 2 dud for me. Bah, bring us home, baby.
Yeah, so this dud, number 23, Travis Dermott. Haven't seen a lot from him, but he just signed this contract, and this is a prove it as an NHLer contract. I truly believe Travis Dermott coming in. I watched him on the Erie Otters because he played with Connor McDavid. The OHL was full of hype those years. I thought that's a future top 4 D coming in. I was so excited when the Leafs drafted him. Yes, he's had some good moments. Last year, his anger, his temper, for some reason, got the best out of him a lot of times. But he is not showing anything. I mean, you're being outperformed by, like, Bogosian. What do you want? Do you want to be an NHLer or what?
You know what, dude? I didn't have number 3 until you said McDermott. Like, man, like, we thought, okay, he's signing. He wants to be here. Let's go prove it here. Let's go light the fireworks. We're going to do this. Falling flat, man. And here's what I think, honestly, what's going on. He sees Bogosian get signed. He sees a Brody signing happen. He's third on that list of people that they locked up, defensemen that they locked up.
Yeah.
Maybe it just doesn't feel the love. Maybe he's saying, you know what? Listen, you got 5 guys in front of me. And then, you get scratched. Lethwin comes in. All of a sudden, okay, now you're taxi squad, or now you're in the press box. I get it. But, dude, let's go, baby. Same thing. You need the injection just like Anderson needs the injection. Let's go, baby.
Yeah, seriously, you're on your second coach. At a certain point now, it's personal responsibility that you've got to prove that you're an NHLer, because you were excited Babcock was gone. I remember Dermott's interview, so fired up because Babcock was lessening his minutes. And you haven't proven Keefe in any way should play you more. So just like Freddie, just like you said, step it up.
Yeah, I'm in. But that was a tough one, man. Honorable mention for duds. JTO, my man, you got it. Like, started the season hot, got the first goal for the Leafs. Let's go. As a captain, I kind of don't really see it. But at the same time, if you have the option to have a guy like John Tavares on your team, offensively smart, defensively smart, very rarely makes bad mistakes. I'm starting to see a decline, I feel like, in his game, but his game is still such at a high level that it's still going to be better than 100% of the second line centers out there in the league. Honorable mention for dud for me. I don't know if you got any honorable mentions, but JTO was for me.
Yeah, JT is not a dud for me yet. His skating's definitely declined. Not that he was the strongest skater to begin with, but the way he can outmaneuver, outwork, out hustle guys, get underneath them, get the puck, those passes, he's still so good. Sometimes I forget that we have John Tavares on our team, and I think about it, and I'm like, oh man, I love that feeling that JT's our captain. Oakville boy.
I like it too. Like anybody who's low, like when Jason Spezza broke into the league. Sorry, not before he even broke into the league. When he was still playing in the O, I was working for the Mississauga Ice Dogs, who don't even exist anymore, just for the record. Yeah. But Spezza came along, and I'm like, oh my god, this guy grew up like around the corner from my house. Like, that's crazy. Then in a weird turn of events, I met his hairstylist. Kind of weird. But he's like, oh, yeah, I do Matt Stajan and Jason Spezza's hair. I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now? The fact of the matter is, local guys, for you and me, who you say, I watched him in Oakville, or I watched him in Streetsville. Like, those things are kind of like mind-blowing for me. And that feels like one of us. It feels like one of the boys on the ice. So JTO, Jason Spezza, like all those local guys, nothing but love.
100%. Simmons, yeah. We live vicariously through you, so it's great.
For sure. All right. But this season, 10 games in, have any games stood out to you?
So we just talked about the Edmonton game, which I thought they played well.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm going to do a shout out to that second Calgary game with the little puck flip to Mr. Crybaby. Those games sustain me, El Jefe. I want them injected into my veins when I see that bullshit go on. Because what I want to say is hard to point out a game, but I will point out is how shit the refereeing has been and how they've affected so many games. So when I'm thinking back now, besides those few games, I'm keep thinking about how the refs almost screw us or these light penalties called on us. So that's what's sticking out to me, man. How about you? What games?
Well, obviously the first loss of the season to the Sens, that stands out to me. That was a we did not show up kind of game. Yeah. The whole thing, the Sens obviously came out with a chip on the shoulder. Their first game of the season. They had to prove that they weren't going to be the pushover 7th place that we all pegged them to be. Little did they know that just because you win one game against the mighty Toronto Maple Leafs does not put you in first place. So now they're 7th place. They're kind of coming back to earth, realize, oh shit, we're going to have our ass handed to us a whole bunch of times this year. That's fine. They are 2 years behind where the Canucks are now. So yeah. They're 4 years away from even being on my radar as real competition for the Leafs. But that game did stand out to me. A fucking ball breaker for any Leaf fan to lose to the Sens. And then the games that really stood out, I really enjoyed the season opener against Montreal. All the games against Edmonton. I mean, obviously we have a little bit invested just because of Aaron Chalupa being such a big Oilers fan. But those games right now, McDavid probably entering the first couple of years of his mega prime. Matthews, the same thing. These two ultra stars at the same time are playing in the same division. 4 games already against each other. They got like another 6 games against each other. That is like that. I think that's pretty awesome. So those games obviously are notable for me.
Yeah, and I just want to say, actually, you just reminded me of a game that did stick out and I want to bring up. I think it was the second game we played against Edmonton, and it's the one we won where Matthews was out with a little bit of injury. And the boys showed up and still played, dominated. And that was the game where everybody was talking about how Hall shut down McDavid, and McDavid didn't score that game. That game sticks out for me because obviously AM34, hockey god in this town right now. But even without him, the boys showed up. That game stood out to me the most.
I love it. How do you like the new style the Leafs are playing this year?
I enjoy it. I also, because I forgot to do this for the Buds and Duds, a Bud, Manny Malhotra. Okay. 42% on the power play, second in the league. I know it's early, but it's no more of that bullshit drop pass, go in slow. That is a huge change. He's using our speed and our skills to our advantage. I love it. So our special teams look great. And like I said before, the biggest issue I have as a Leaf fan, maybe in the last 20 years of my life, that literally caused me more heartbreak than anything, is this team doesn't know how to close out a goddamn game.
Amen. Preach,
they don't know how to do it.
Where's Kanye?
Yeah.
Let's go, baby. Preach.
Seriously, though, like the Boston playoffs, whatever meme about Toronto any of our friends want to throw at us, it's always we end up blowing a lead. It's still early, but I feel confident with this team. I don't know if it was all the hype and swagger going into this, and I was trying to be like Mr. Okay, we're still Leaf fans. Calm it down, guys. The hype's a bit. Yeah. Calm down. Yeah. I know it's the North.
Let's win a playoff series.
Yes, but this and this Freddie's been cold, like you said. So this doesn't even have to do with the goaltending. The team around him is helping out Freddie. So instead of the years past where not only was Freddie shit, he was getting no defense, no back checking. So then we just not only would the team tie it and end up like taking a 3-2 lead, they'd end up beating us 6-3 because we'd be defeated. It's not like that this year. I don't feel that. I'm fired up.
I have to agree. I love that. The possession time is insane. The fact that they can spread out, like they're opening up teams with this large box formation. And I mean, I'm not a fan. I hate if I never see a drop pass again.
Oh, dude.
I will never lose a minute of sleep. I see Willie Nylander, ba 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 ba, and drop pass.
Yeah, when they look back. Oh, yeah. Dude.
Oh my God, kills me. But you know what? It's still there, but it's not what it was last year on the power play. The opposite team knew exactly what to do.
Yes.
And then you just turn it around. Oh my God. So the fact that they're really using possession, really using their benefits, that big box cycle, I love. teams haven't figured it out yet because they're so used to collapsing. But with the big box formation, you can't collapse. It just doesn't make any sense. You still need to touch the guy who has the puck. So I love the fact that the Leafs are playing this big open space, really European style game. I love it though, because it's different and it's not fucking what other teams are expecting, and it's causing the Leafs a whole bunch of success, which bitch I'm open for.
Exactly.
That shot is kicking in.
Dude, fucking A. It's similar to what Washington does with Ovechkin and why they've had such a lethal power play for 10 to 15 years. Not only do you have that shot, which Matthews can provide, but we've got the Marner, Backstrom type passing. Now we've got the solid defense. We can move it around, spread out European style, like you're saying. It's such a different power play where I truly feel there's a good chance we're going to score on every power play. Like, I'm on the edge of my seat. And not just short-handed goals constantly, by the way, on us. Yeah,
that's true. I really enjoy when you see when there's a delayed penalty called. And it's not like before where, they would try to run this play, but because teams knew it was happening, that delayed penalty would only be about 4 or 5 seconds long. Yeah. Now, they ran a whole 1 minute delayed penalty before the penalty started. I was like, if nothing less than you burn some of McDavid's fuel, I'm on board for that.
They're gassing the PK guys. Like, that is a new type of Leaf.
Yeah. And they're hurting teams in different ways. Before the speed was a factor, then the speed and goal scoring was a factor. Then now it's puck possession, zone time. Like, I love it. I love it. I'm in. Okay. Anyways, let's keep moving on because I just realized we're like almost 40 minutes into this pod. Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
So we just talk about gameplay. How do you find the new signees fitting in? I know Simmons was already one of your buds, so.
Yeah. Thornton's been injured. I don't think he deserves to go back to the first line, and he shouldn't have been there. They were using his legs, which were fresh from Switzerland or wherever. Hyman is the first line with those guys. He brings that je ne sais quoi. So Thornton, I can't really give a grade. Boyd, I've kind of liked. Adam Brooks, the one game, he looked like a good kid. Barabanov, like I said, has been quiet. Simmons, who else am I missing?
Vesey.
Bogosian. Yeah, Vesey. So Vesey, I didn't realize how big of a body he is. And I sometimes like that he uses that, but he's been quiet. And I still think that eventually Mikheyev is probably going to take that spot on the second or someone else, and he'll probably move down. So it's probably not a good indictment on him playing well. And then Bogosian was terrible, I felt, the first few games. Looked like an old man and shouldn't be there. But he stepped it up, and he's actually looked a lot better, a lot quieter, which for a defenseman, a sixth defenseman, it's pretty good to have a quiet game, I think.
I like a lot with what you said. You talk about Simmons. I think Simmons right now is giving a 4 out of 5 for effort, and I don't mean to knock him, but he doesn't look like he's in his rhythm just yet. It looks like he's going through the motions, but he's not like smooth in those motions. Like sometimes he reminds me of Bambi on Ice. Like sometimes when I watch him skate, I'm like, does he know which way to go? Like he looks weird sometimes when he's skating, but I know it's because he's not familiar yet. So I feel like he'll get there within the next 10. Like next time we sit down, I'm gonna be praising Sims. I know that already. Vesey, I thought for second line time, I feel like his numbers don't reflect how good he's even played with Matthews. I just don't think he's like hit that stride either. He hasn't gained that confidence that he needs, I feel. But I do like the point production so far. I think on what kind of deal we got this guy, I think he could be a 2 or 3 year season Leaf. I think this guy is not going anywhere. I think he's going to find a spot on this team, and I'm happy to hear that. We saw Joey Anderson for like 10 seconds, and that was fine. It didn't do too much for me. Boyd, I did like because he did look very hungry to prove something. I was on board for that.
Always love that.
Bogosian is really where I think, even though we've signed some names, Bogosian for me, he is a big guy, not afraid to punch a guy in the face, not worried about taking that kind of penalty because he knows it's more than just punching a guy in the face. It's sending the message. When you saw him push Kachuk off of Campbell, I was like, I almost said the N-word. I'm like, that's my boy right there. Yeah. I was so excited because so many times you'd see a defenseman lean on a stick, step up and skate away. But he's like, oh, this red and white jersey is not supposed to be in this blue and white jersey. Get this trash off here. Bye-bye. I was happy to see that. So I guess what I'm trying to say is Bogosian really, he's the one that's wowed me the most that's on the team. Thor, not to take anything away from him, I really like seeing it. It's heartbreaking that he got injured. But Bogosian really has wowed me the most out of all the new guys, which I did not think that I'd say that name the first 10 games of the season.
Yeah, and the best thing about Bogosian is just like Kachuk, he keeps the rats at bay. Like you're not
yes.
You're not going to do that bullshit when he's on the ice. Yeah, he did the bullshit on the back of Campbell's head. He got pushed off right away, looked back, saw who it was. He wasn't trying any bullshit. Yeah, he might go after Buzzin or Dermott, whoever, but not old man Bogosian. No way.
Now, is there anything else that's really catching your eye with this team?
Besides the coldness of Freddie, which you already brought up, that's a concern for me. But just the way that all the big contracts are playing right now is such a bonus. We need that to play for your money.
I really feel like the Leafs' depth is being shown right now.
Yes.
You know, you talk about if this was any other team, your first line winger goes down, you start to worry. The Leafs didn't miss a step. Actually haven't lost a game since. I mean, whatever, overtime loss, whatever. You know, I think that's pretty special. Matthews goes down. The rest of the team shows up. There's something going on here, and it's the depth. I like it. I'm very happy with it. That's really wowed me. I knew that they were going to have depth going into it, but to see that depth paying off right now and not with 3 weeks left to go in the season, I'm happy to see that a lot.
Yeah, and not only that, but they were predicted to be a first-place team in the North Division, Stanley Cup, going for it, not a Stanley Cup winning, but in the mix. And they're playing like it. That's the most I can ask for as a Leaf fan. I feel confident. I've said that word multiple times now.
You know what? This year is a different year. And, we might replay this clip right now. But this year feels different. Yeah, it does. And I love the fact that it feels different. I'm on board for it feeling different because I felt that way before. I felt that way enough. I'm loyal to this. Let's go, baby. I'm in, baby.
I'm fired up.
Go. Now, how upset are you now? Because when I looked at the schedule and realized the next game's against Vancouver, Friday. I was like, okay, here's a nice test. It's like 5 days away. Yeah. And then we play 3 in a row in Vancouver and come back. But we don't play again until Friday. So, like I said to you when we were texting earlier, 7 out of 8 points out west, I will take it. Yeah, and you know what? The Leafs have owned Alberta this time. So that's the name of the pod. That's for you, Chalup. Yeah, exactly. All right. So we're gonna do a monthly recap. We're not doing per game, we're not doing week. Monthly recap. We'll do this again at the end of February, which is crazy to believe that we're even at the end of January. Unreal. Just for the record, the Leafs play Thursday night, 7 o'clock against Vancouver. Let's go Leafs, go. Where can the good people of the nation find you? Ladies and gentlemen, besides this beautiful Leaf podcast, I've got nothing but miss, which is Raptors NBA talk with my man Melky. We just did a new Wow I Had Mustard, which we'll be releasing soon. It had some new trivia games going on. I had an absolute blast. We have Nobody Gives a Fuck, which a new episode's coming out next month, but check out the one that John and I did. And like always, I'll be able to guest on pretty much anything you guys want on this network because I'm loving it here. Love it. All right. For Ball Walker, you can find all the good stuff, Mustard, everything else. It's going to be on our Instagram feed. Every time something pops up, it's there first. If you have an opportunity, please give us a rating. We appreciate it a whole bunch. With that being said, I'm Anthony El Jefe. That's Ball Walker. Go Leafs, go. Let's go, baby. Go Leafs, go. Woo. Fuck me, right? Peace. Go Leafs, go.